Hey there, gang. Join me as we take the Future Optimist podcast on the road to the Electrify Expo in the Port of Los Angeles today, where a bunch of different people asked me to interview them, including the CEO and founder of this amazing convention itself. Now, the reason I'm here with this little intro is to remind you, the audio on my microphone that day got a little bit messed up. It was super hot, super distorted. I'm gonna do my best to fix it in post, but there's only so much a miracle worker can do. So I apologize in advance for the sound of my microphone. Hopefully it doesn't bug you too much, but as an audio guy, it bugs the crap out of me. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. See me in Port of Los Angeles to check out the Electrify Expo 2025. Let's have some fun. We're gonna interview some people, we're gonna check it out, we're gonna see what all the fuss is about. We're gonna even get to ride some interesting new vehicles. So if you wanna find out what the latest is in electric vehicle technology, this is clearly the place to be. I've never seen anything like it. All right, sweet. BJ, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Ross, this is such an awesome event. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, I mean, this is 1.5 million square feet of all electric experiences. So basically people come here because they want to check out this whole electric thing.
Who's the demographic? Who's the target audience do you think that's most interested in this stuff?
About 80% of the people who come to our festival have never had an experience in an EV of any kind.
Wow.
So these are all noobs, they're total newbies.
Okay.
But they're coming into our festival with a lot of outdated information. Yeah. So the three big things are, EVs are too expensive, EVs take too long to charge, EVs don't go far enough on a charge, like range-wise. So, and then they come into our festival, but by the time they leave, they're like, I can get into an EV for $200, $300 a month. Oh, this vehicle has 500 miles of range. Oh, this vehicle charges that fast. It's like light bulb moment happens.
Yeah.
But the true light bulb moment happens actually when they get behind the wheel of the car or the truck.
All right, so we just landed on the moon. The year is 2045. This is what we have. Can you tell us about this magical device?
Of course. This is a very innovative, intuitive vehicle. It's the Mia 4 X4. It is a stand-up ATV scooter. It goes 75 miles.
I want to go drive one for myself.
Yeah.
And then when I did that, I had my whole light bulb moment. Wow. So things are really changing now. Like the whole demographic and psychographic of people who come to our festival are changing. And I think that's a great thing because in order to drive broader EV adoption, this can't be like a left-leaning form of transportation.
Yeah.
It's got to be a form of transportation that's practical for everybody.
Yeah.
This is not a political thing. It's a transportation thing. And I think that's what we're finding is that there's a new type of consumer coming to our festival checking this whole thing out.
Whoa, this is awesome. Oh no. Yeah, I noticed there's not a whole lot of hippie buses around. Is that by design?
Well, for sure. I mean, like, you laugh about it, but like this is our 26th festival.
Yeah. Wow.
We've been around for about 3.5, 4 years. And in the early stages of our festival, there was a little bit of that. It was a little bit more, hipster. It was a little bit more early adopter. People were coming into our festival who are much more eco-conscious.
Yeah.
Now the type of people that are coming in are almost like the early majority phase.
Yeah.
I don't know if you follow a technology S-curve.
Yeah,
It kind of does this.
Right.
And that's where we find ourselves right now, is like right here at the cusp of the early majority phase.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see that now with the new wave of consumer coming in.
Hi, Ross.
Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
So super excited to learn about Lightship, the future of electric RVs. Am I saying that correctly, or how would you describe yourself?
No, you got it. We're America's first all-electric RV company. We manufacture here in the States in Broomfield, Colorado. This is our first and flagship product behind us. We call it AE1, and I'll take you through every gory detail of it. There's some really cool stuff in there. My co-founder and I were both at Tesla for years. I was a battery engineer there. Worked on the Model 3 and Model Y battery pack for about 3.5 years and spent a lot of time living out of a suitcase in Reno, Nevada, getting the first Gigafactory ramped up.
I also lived out of a suitcase in Reno, Nevada for a little while.
Did you really?
But my reasons weren't as good as you.
What
Building? No,
what's the critic?
no, I'm just kidding.
You were there for fun.
I was just, living off of a can of beans under the freeway. So people like me, so I drove my Hummer here and I stacked it with a bunch of concrete on top. If I can get 4 gallons per mile, I'm happy. What do you say to a guy like me who says, I'm never gonna get on an EV or an e-bike?
Well, I live in Texas, so I got a lot of oil and gas friends.
Yeah.
Those dudes I hang with that are, they're full-on diesel guys.
Yeah.
And you know what? Look, EVs are not for everyone. Like, let's just be real. Like, we should not be like it's all electric or nothing.
Yeah.
That's a ridiculous thing to say. That would never bode well here in America. Okay. There's always going to be a choice between electric or gas or diesel, and maybe even in the future some other form of alternative transportation. So it's just like, are electric vehicles practical for you? Do they make sense? Do you haul a lot right now? Because if you haul a lot right now, I would say wait. If you are not close to really solid EV infrastructure, or you can't charge at home, you might want to wait on a BEV, a fully electric vehicle, and you might want a plug-in hybrid instead. So like, I just take a real approach. Like, we're not here to push EVs on anybody, but what we're here to do is give people experiences in them. And what we have found, just like me, is when you give an experience to somebody, they have their own light switch moment, and then they're all in on some form of electrification.
Lightship is America's first electric RV manufacturer. It begged the question, what type of RV to build? Once you do a little bit of research into the pastime, you realize that the trailer is absolutely the right type of product to build, because especially in America, where we have this love affair with the pickup truck, most RVs that are sold are towable as well. It's something like 9 out of 10 RVs are towable style. So that was the product that we thought was ready to be redefined in this way.
Can I tow it with a 1998 Geo Metro?
98 Geo Metro, the rear suspension might suffer. Yeah.
At that point, it's pushing the car, right? Will it push my car forward?
No, we made sure to design the system to not ever push the car. It zeroes out the force on the hitch without ever giving it a forward push. I think, if we're being honest, that the charging infrastructure is one of the key reasons that electrification is not expanding faster.
Absolutely.
It's just not
scary, especially on road trips.
It's still too sparse. It's not reliable enough. There is work, much work to be done, and work is happening, of course, but it needs to go faster. This is on a large battery. It's close to an 80 kilowatt hour battery, so it's a significant amount of energy that you're adding. If you set it out for a week, you'd be full by the end of the week.
Okay, that's awesome. Can we take a look inside? I'm curious to check it out.
I would love to do that with you.
Let's go. The fact that we're so close to hundreds of vehicles being demoed and you and I can have a conversation tells you that this is all electric. Otherwise, it'd be right.
I was a car guy, and I had my whole mind made up about EVs before I even drove one. And I knew that an experience changed my mind. So I wanted to create something for people who were kind of like me, or like thought EVs were toasters on wheels and lacked a soul, and put them behind the wheel of one and change their mind.
I mean this in the best possible way, but it's like the IKEA of RV.
Yeah. No,
it feels like Swedish, like that minimal design, very clean, a lot of space. How many people can comfortably sleep?
We can do 5 without much problem. So there's this switchback lounge area opens up into a queen size bed.
Nice.
The table here will drop down to form a second sleeping surface, so full size. And then we also have an option not shown here for a lofted bed.
Ooh.
Yeah, kind of van lifestyle. So it drops down to the ceiling.
That's cool.
And then you climb up on a ladder right where our cameraman is standing into the loft.
He's in the luxurious bathroom area.
Yeah, we'll see that in a sec.
I got some Pacificas in there.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta keep them inside
the
the
Lightship
vehicle.
crew knows what's up.
We try to have some fun.
A dishwasher.
Yeah,
Nice.
full 6-setting dishwasher.
Yes. Being here convinced me to finally take the leap and buy that Cybertruck I've always wanted. Unfortunately, this was the only one I could afford. So what's the longest somebody's ever lived in one of these, as far as you know, so far?
Well, we just, like I mentioned, we just hit production, so we've delivered one so far, working on the next dozen as we speak.
Okay.
We have members of our team have been camping in these, myself included, for a while.
So do you know much about squatters' rights in Southern California? Very familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
So this is legally my house now. Once you let me in, would you mind getting out of my house, please?
King in his castle.
I'm being serious. Would
All
you
right.
please get out of my house? Thank you. How do I lock the store? Activate riffraff mode.
Activate it.
Poison gas mode. Are there spikes on the outside about kneecap height, would you say?
The glass is not yet bulletproof, but for a high roller.
All right, what's the impression so far? It's pretty fun, right?
It's pretty fun. The first one, the quad bike with the articulating wheels, that was a lot of fun. What was it, the Maya?
Yeah.
Really, really good ride, and I could see myself getting into a lot of trouble on that thing.
So now that you've done this around the country, all of these different locations, wildly different demographic groups, has your viewpoint changed at all, or have you learned anything unexpected along the way since you began?
Yeah, I think, there's things that I wish the industry would have done a lot differently. I think we politicized EVs right out of the gate, and that really narrowed the opportunity for EVs to be sold to a broader demographic. So now we're going through this S-curve, and I think we're just on the precipice of really seeing some big EV adoption. When gas reaches $5-6 a gallon, people start rethinking how they fill up.
In California, if gas reaches $5 a gallon, it means it's gone down $2.
When it becomes like that simplistic, I think that we're really going to kind of move past this idea that this is or was a niche type thing. This was like an early adopter thing. And it's really just a really practical form of transportation. So
what you're doing is awesome. I love that you took a personal experience and you turned it into something that more people can enjoy. And looking at the size of this crowd and looking at the diversity of the people in this crowd, I think your viewpoint is spot on. I think it is much larger than one small group of people. It's about people who are looking for thrills, people who are looking for convenient ways to get their family around town, people who are looking for ways to save on gas. There's just so many different angles to the experience here. I think you've done an awesome job combining all of that. So I appreciate you taking the time. Thanks for doing this. I think it's really great.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Pleasure, BJ.
Thank you.
Ben, this is super awesome.
Yeah, of course it was.
It's nicer than certainly my house, probably most people's houses, I would guess. You've done something incredible. I can't wait to see what the next generation look like. Congratulations on going to market and bringing this out. I hope you have tremendous success. And if you're looking for a free place to stay, come check them out at one of these events like the Electrify Expo. Once you're legally inside, they cannot kick you out. Know your rights. It is your vehicle. Just kidding. Don't do that, Mom. So that's Electrify Expo here at the Port of Los Angeles. I gotta say, I'm really impressed. Honestly, my favorite part of this whole thing is, I don't know how many thousands of vehicles there have been, but it's totally silent. Thousands of vehicles in the same space, no noise except for the tires squealing and the drifting demo. And I think that speaks to the power of these technologies. I can't wait until our urban areas are this silent, peace, calm, gentle. Also, the diversity of the crowd here, the range of people and what they're interested in, from RV enthusiasts to people who want the latest and fastest bikes, to crazy people, to people who just want to get their family or their dog around. The diversity of people here who are interested is way bigger than I would have guessed. It's not just one group anymore, it's really everybody. To me, this kind of represents the turning of a tide. It represents a new moment in time where these things are no longer niche, but they're taking over everything. Honestly, it blew me away. So if you get the chance, check out Electrify Expo, check out some of these vendors. I got to ride in a couple of the funniest ones. You won't regret it. It's absolutely worth it. So see you again next time. With that, the official podcast is over.